Hey everybody, welcome to
Hello.
Pops React. You're on me, BP1 and BP2. Now we're back with another video, informational video, I guess this is. This is by another YouTuber called The Magnum. 10 best muscle cars of all time.
Alright.
Okay, so not really big into the muscle cars, but you know, it'd be interesting. This is a learning. It's a bit more of an understanding what those top 10 you know, cars are. I mean, muscle cars.
Well, you got General Lee, haven't you, from Dukes of Hazzard?
Yeah, you got a Chevrolets, haven't you?
Dodge Vipers, Corvette Stingrays. I mean, you know, they're muscle cars or sports cars. Yeah, muscle cars are the big chunky ones. Yeah, your Mustangs and things like that. So I think, you know,
interesting to see what they are,
how they compare. I mean, where I live, every now and again they have these sort of classic car meets, and whenever you see one of them driving down the road, they just make our cars look tiny, don't they? And this, you know,
well, yeah,
and they've got smaller over there, but back in the day in the 70s, they were just huge
tanks.
Tanks,
yeah. Big V8 tanks.
Yeah, I mean, you got the roads over there. Most of them are straight, so don't have to worry too much about the corners. And also, the price of fuel at the time was cheap enough that you could fill anything up. But all right, this will be interesting.
Nowadays, it costs a fortune just to do a mile.
Just to
park
it. Yep.
Just to park.
All right.
All right. So let's just see what they've got to say. See what we think. See what our favourite one is.
Yeah. Indeed, yeah.
1970 Chevrolet Camaro Z28. Chevrolet Camaro, the iconic American passenger car, manufactured by the Chevrolet division of General Motors Corporation. Cars of the second generation were produced from February 1970 to August 1981. The standard sport coupe model could be supplemented with the special design package Rally Sport RS, or equipped with more powerful engines performed by the Super Sport SS.
Looking car.
In parallel with the release of these modifications, a high-speed package was also released under the code Z28. No one advertised it or offered it, and it was not broadcast to the general public. But the Chevrolet Camaro Z28 model became the most famous for the entire existence of the brand. Package options for the Z28 included a special 5.7-liter engine with 360 horsepower, spoilers front and rear, and coloring in the form of racing stripes on the hood and trunk lid.
Love the
white
stripes
for cars painted in dark colors, that does look good, and black for cars painted of light shades. 1967 Chevrolet Impala SS.
Chevrolet
Impala is another iconic American full-size car, manufactured by the Chevrolet division of General Motors Corporation.
It's got those
the sports
classic
modification
flat
Impala
lines.
SS Super Sport was produced from 1965 to 1967 and won
squished
a
out
crowd
ways,
of fans.
isn't it?
The body of the 1965 model was great
that looks like the old Cortina, doesn't it?
And remained in service
just looks
for
so
a long
angry.
time. But in 1967, it was restyled. The car received a more thorough sculptural study. The side.
It's almost like the old Bluebird, you know, from you remember the original, fastest car. So at the front there, this is what I always think of two very different cars here. The front is okay, you know, it looks quite good. Really, that angry flat line, square, and at the back, it just sort of, it's just, I don't know, it's like a wave, isn't it? It's what it reminds me of. It's like a wave. I mean, it's not my sort of thing. It's not the sort of car I would go and if I was going to get a muscle car. You know, it's not the sort of one I would go, oh yeah, that one. But I love the way they put the branded tyres on, don't they?
Everything. I mean, everything's, you know, all the chrome,
polished to.
I mean, the door looks humongous. You know, you probably need about 4 people just to open the door.
No power steering on these bad boys, though. Remember that?
Well, I mean, some of them probably would have had early sort of versions of it, but size of that engine in there, humongous.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Sorry,
crack it on.
Going.
Wall of the body was a bit smooth. Their lights were recessed into the grille, and large turn signals on the sides. The car began to look more harmonious and aggressive.
Look at all those cars
The
in
engine
there.
of the Impala 67 is
It's not
also
Jay Leno's place, is it?
It was a V8 with a capacity of 425 horsepower and a volume of 6.7 liters, which literally tore the asphalt from under the wheels. 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle LS6.
SS.
When the company GM squeezed their previous requirements, prohibiting the installation of an engine of more than 400 cubic inches on medium-sized cars, in the American automobile industry there was a real boom of muscle cars. According to most conservative estimates, the power of the LS6 was 450 horsepower, but according to some experts,
good in black.
due to the high compression ratio and the huge Holly 78 CFM carburetor, the actual power of the LS6 was close to 500 horsepower. Employees of the magazine Car and Driver tested the car in 1970 and claimed it went from 0 to 60 in 5.4 seconds. How much faster do you think this car would be today with modern tires?
Exactly. Well, just putting girders around that is.
Here we go.
Cuda.
All right.
Hemi Cuda was not a full-fledged model, but a sports version of the third-generation Plymouth Barracuda with a huge Hemi engine. As befits a true legend among racing cars, not many cars could compete with the 1970 Hemi Cuda. It was distinguished by its classic balanced appearance and engine, the frame of which was no less than the car itself.
Vinyl roof.
The heart was the 426 6.9 liter Hemi. Fully cast iron, it possessed 2 valves per cylinder and hemispherical combustion chambers.
It's a nice looking.
The valves were driven by a single camshaft.
Yeah, I mean, it looked nice with the twin lights on that, like on the other one, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
The car accelerated to 60 miles per hour in a record 5.6 seconds, and the maximum speed reached was 117 miles per hour.
117.
1969 Pontiac GTO Judge.
Pontiac
in the early
GTO.
1960s,
That does look
Pontiac
nice.
was the leader in the manufacture of muscle cars. Often, the GTO is called the first muscle car, but by 1968, the car had too many competitors.
Look at the size
Then there was
of
the
it.
idea to create a cheaper version of the GTO with a smaller engine of 350 cubic inches. Chief engineer John DeLorme did not approve of this venture. In his opinion, the GTO could not have such a small engine.
No, it can't have a small engine in that.
The new model was different from the traditional GTO. The Judge was equipped with a 360 horsepower Ram Air 3 engine, but buyers could also choose the Ram Air 4 at 370 horsepower. The rarest was the Pontiac GTO Judge Ram Air 4 convertible. They released only 17 models in 1969.
Looks like a boat, mate.
1960 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am.
Trans Am.
The 1970s for the muscle cars became a pale semblance of previous decades. Rising prices for fuel and insurance have forced...
See that?
Knight Rider.
That is beautiful, isn't it? That one there, I mean, looking at that, I mean, that is, look, most replayed as well at this exact spot, because we've all looking at this going, look at the beauty
cars
of
became
this.
a pale semblance of previous decades.
The original Knight Rider, that in it, that's cool. Yeah, very nice. All the air scoops. Car. Yeah, got the back nice as well. And yeah, they've got some shapeage in that. I mean, somebody realised that they could do round lines as well as just all flat.
Yeah. Make a car look sexy, put a little bit of curve in it, you know?
That's it. That's good.
Rising prices for fuel and insurance have forced manufacturers to restrain their passion regarding super powerful cars. This affected almost all car brands, but not Pontiac. Their Trans Am has become a public favorite since the release of the 1977 film Smokey and the Bandit.
Smokey and the Bandit.
55 engine with a volume of 7.5 liters and a power of more than 370 horsepower, which is deservedly considered the last of the number of legendary engines for the generation of muscle cars, was installed in the Trans Am version. And the WS6 Special Package added wider 8-inch wheels, new tires, and very sharp steering to the car. As a result, the Pontiac Firebird Trans Am has become much more agile and faster on the track than the Chevy Corvette.
Wow.
1969 Dodge Charger RT.
Here we go.
Yeah. I mean,
go on.
That already looks fast and it's standing still, isn't it? The Firebird didn't have the pop-out roof bits. I'm sure on the Smokey and the Bandit one, it was like, you know, T-bar roof or something, where you had the pop out, so it's kind of convertible, but it still had a bar going through the middle. I'm sure it thought so. But
quite possibly.
Yeah, this looks angry, doesn't it?
This looks like something out of RT.
Yeah, it looks like something out of Mad Max. That one.
For me, it reminds me of the Batmobile.
It's got a lot going on with that.
It has. I never driven an American muscle car. I must say, to get in that, that'd be quite a cool little.
I probably wouldn't be able to see over the steering wheel, mate. I mean, it just looks angry, doesn't it? It's like,
The Dodge Charger is the iconic American car produced by Dodge, division of Chrysler Corporation.
That does look smart.
In 1969, the Dodge Charger was slightly modified from the previous 68-year version.
That's fair play.
External changes included a new grille with a split in the center, and new taillights from designer Harvey Wynn. A new trim line called Special Edition was also added. In addition, to further enhance the image of the muscle car, a new option package was added under the name RT, which meant Road Track. The RT index was placed only on cars with high power. The Dodge Charger RT came with a 440 Magnum or 426 Hemi engine.
No, could have not,
1969 Ford Mustang Boss 429.
Oh, the old Mustang.
The golden years of NASCAR came at the end of the 70s and the beginning of the 80s. Automakers were serious about racing, and for the purpose of homologation, that is, to participate in racing models, they should have produced at least 500 models.
Imagine that.
However,
I've got the Boss.
Often producing models that were extremely dangerous for the streets.
All right,
the Ford Mustang Boss 429 was a real beast. Its V8 429 cubic inches gave out 375 horsepower and 6,000 RPMs. But the engine was so massive that it did not fit into the classic engine compartment of the Mustang. Then Ford signed a contract with the company CarCraft to eliminate all interface. Specialists at CarCraft had to redo half the elements to make room and literally squeeze in the engine.
Right.
Today at auction, the model 1969 Ford Mustang Boss 429 is sold for more than $200,000.
Wow. I'm finding one of them in your
Dodge
garage.
Challenger RT. The Dodge Challenger is a cult car designed to compare with cars like the Chevrolet Camaro, Ford Mustang, and Pontiac Firebird. Coupe models were offered in 4 versions: Challenger 6, Challenger V8, Challenger TA, and Challenger RT. The Challenger RT is a more powerful model with a Chrysler 383 Magnum V8 engine with a capacity of 335 horsepower. Additionally, the RT was equipped with the Chrysler RB440 V8 Magnum 375 horsepower, Chrysler RB440 V8 6-pack 390 horsepower.
Yeah, there's a lot of facts and figures, and then they're going over my head to a degree.
Yeah.
I'm not better looking car for me. Yeah, there's better looking cars.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are quite samey, aren't they? That flat, very early sort of Ford Cortina-y style to us over here. The Cortinas came over. But I mean, and then when you go to like the Dodge Chargers and the Trans Ams, they were completely different. Had something about them that the Dodge Charger, like I say, with the curves in that. I mean, they look a nice car. But around this time, you're up against European cars and British cars would have been Aston Martins, things like that. Completely different kettle of fish.
Was very much was. All right, so we've got one more, I think, after this one.
Okay.
And Chrysler RB426 V8 Hemi 425 horsepower engines.
Hemis,
the Challenger RT was available in a coupe or convertible type body. The coupe and SE version could be ordered with a more luxurious body, which included leather seats, a vinyl roof, as well as a smaller rear window.
Vinyl roof. Whatever happened to that?
Another great muscle car.
Okay, that one looks nice.
1969 Mercury Cougar Eliminator. This car was produced from 1967 to 2002. The year 1969 brought a few additions and adjustments to the Mercury Cougar. For the first time, the most productive package, Eliminator, appeared, which in the basic configuration came with a 4-chamber carburetor and an 8-cylinder 351 cubic engine with a capacity of 290 horsepower. It was distinguished with a black
room in there,
special pads on the body, front and rear spoilers, and a large air intake. The body was painted only in bright colors.
Right, okay.
That's all for today. Write in the comments which of these cars you like the most.
10 best muscle cars of all time.
I mean, they looked, that one especially looked very much like your Hot Wheels cars. Remember your Hot Wheels?
Yeah, Hot Wheels, yes.
Interesting. I mean, there was a lot of information he was giving on all the specs of that rather than just talking about the car themselves, you know. So there's a lot of additional information not really interested in. It was the sizes and the shapes more for me. But I mean, yeah, that one looks nice, but that is impressive.
That's my favourite.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Trans Am, yeah.
No Corvettes in there. Corvette Stingrays. That was my favourite looking car.
No, yeah, Dodge Charger. I mean, that's another one. I see myself in that.
I mean, that is a stealth mobile, isn't it? But
BPR written on that one, mate. That could be the channel car. We only got to do this for the next 50 years to be able to maybe even get close to sort of affording a wheel.
The BPR mobile, we call it that.
That would be funny. Well, there you go. 10 top 10 muscle cars of all time. I mean, let us know in the comments. Have you ever had?
Do you agree with those?
Maybe you've got one of these muscle cars. Maybe you've driven one. What do you think? Like I say, we're not massive enthusiasts at all. We know a few of them. Be quite nice to actually understand a little bit more about them. So, you know.
Big engines, Hemis, understand all that bit, but some nice looking ones there. So there you go. Was your favourite in amongst that? What would you love to drive around in? And you know, are they still viable cars for driving around in now, or is the price of them, the fuel, all that said? Now we'll park that and we'll drive around in one of those little Japanese models.
Yeah, indeed. Make sure you subscribe before you leave. Do come with us at Britpop's React. Lots on the channel that we react to. You know, who would have thought we'd be reacting to 10 reverse rewind 10 best muscle cars of all time.
Easy for you to say.
We like to say and do all sorts of stuff on the channel. So
yeah, interesting, strange one, but there you go. Now we're better informed.
Until tomorrow, it's a goodbye from me over there.
Goodbye from him over there.
2 Ronnies. Beautiful.
Hemi.
He's a 20th century boy.